Okay guys, so I'm gonna quickly show you how to do the homework for class. So I told you we're gonna be drawing some isometric drawings and some oblique drawings. So this is the isometric paper. I hope that you guys were able to download it. I'm gonna be making these drawings here in the iPad just so I can record it. But you guys will be making this by hand on paper. So make sure you guys print the paper, do this with pencils, and you guys will follow, along making all the shapes. So basically what you guys will be doing is you guys will be making all of these 90 shapes um, in the respective isometric and oblique cabinet views. So once again, these measurements you have here, these are to make the parts, in 3D CAD, so you don't have to worry about those. But you can still, use them for reference. For example, once again, if we say that this is 1 unit, this will be, of course, 2 units. This is a 2 by 2 unit. This is a 1. This is a 2. This is a 3 unit long. So that way you guys can keep the scale consistent. So let me show you how to make some of those. Let me start with an easy piece. So let's try to do the blue one, this blue piece, right? The blue little cube, which is a 1 by 1. So in this isometric view, you can see that all the lines are oriented 30 degrees. So I'm gonna be using this ruler just to help me out, but I can do it without a ruler in my iPad. So let's say that I'm gonna say that 2 of these lines will be 1 unit. All right, so that's 1. This is the other part, and that's the third line. All right, so I'm making the face. So this is the face of that shape. So you can see it's basically looking towards the left in a way. And you can see that all pieces have a thickness, you can see here, of 0.75 inches, meaning that they're also 1 unit in depth. So for this one, I'm going to, draw it towards the back like this, right? Even though this part is not shown, we know that this is how it's going to look. So something like this. There you go. That is that QP. So once again, I'm saying that these 2 units, or these two are, are 1, or 0.75 or whatever, but you can see that the scale is kept. So once again, this is on a label, this will be the isometric. So isometric for blue piece. Right, blue piece. Now make sure that you guys are clearly labeled and so on, so that it looks better in yours, but this is just an example. So that's the isometric. So let's do an oblique now, and let's keep the same unit. So once again, I'm saying that 2 of those little lines are 1 full 0.75. So let's do this drawing in the oblique. So this is the oblique drawing, oblique paper. Notice how the lines are now, they are 45 degrees in angles. So once again, for this one, it's easier to draw because the front face does look like the front. So this is my front face, right? It does look like a square, so it is drawn like that. But now look, the depth, we said it's 2 units, right? So it will be 1, 2 or 2 lines for 1 unit. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Once again, notice how we went 1, 2, and all of them all of them have been following the same pattern. So 1, 2, and the height it's also 1, 2. In this case, it came a little bit crooked on this one, but this is how it looks like. So this will be, I think the oblique cavalier oblique. Once again, notice how we have still, the same length. So this is a 1 unit, right? Or composed of, 2. Of course, you can do 1. It depends on to you how big you want to make them. In this case, I'm just making them this size so they can fit. It's up to you. The size is up to you completely. So that's a cavalier. And if you know that the oblique, well, for the oblique, we know that it is essentially the same, but the depth is cut in half. So instead of being 2 units, or 2 of these little lines long, this one is just going to be 1 of these lines, or whatever distance you are deciding. All right, so do it like this, and there we go. And now notice how this one, the cabinet oblique for the blue piece, notice how this one looks closer to the isometric one, right? But once again, this one, it's composed of two, right? My scale, I'm using two of those lines, right? To say that this is like 0.75. 17 here is 1, 2 in depth, 1, 2 in the length and height. And this one is just 1, 2, but just 1 in depth. So that's how you do the cavalier and the cabinet. So make sure you guys do that for all of the drawings, right? So the front face, this is the front faces, right? These are the faces that you guys will be, drawing in this orientation. So let's see if we can do, just quickly, another one more complex. I'm gonna try to do the yellow one. All right, so this is let's see, so it's a 1 by 1 by 1, 1, and this is 3. So let's try to draw that face. So I'm gonna use this color, so let's make it here. So this is, I'm saying this is 1. All right, so just change 1 unit, like this, connect, and then it will be 1 unit to this side, 1 unit to this side. I guess in this case they came out a little bit short. This is why you're making this ones in paper, so you can draw, erase. So it will be like this, 1 unit in height, 1 unit in height, and then I'm going to connect this. So make sure that you guys are using a ruler. So notice it looks a little more distorted, right? But that is essentially the same face. The front face is still having the same dimensions, 1 by 1 by 1, and on top we can count, and let's see. So this is 1, right? This is 2, and this is the 3. So yeah, if it fits, right? And then it's a 0.75 in depth. So this one became the ruler, something like this. All right, and I'm gonna connect it over here. There we go. And let's not forget this part as well, right? At the bottom. All right, we don't see that part, right? We don't see that depth that goes over there, but that's essentially in here, because we know, it has some depth, right? There's some parts that we cannot see because in the back, but that is the isometric, and then we will draw the same face, of course, over here in the oblique. Once again, with the oblique is easier because the front face, it is facing in the front. So I don't know if, yes, it's not gonna work out like this one. I have to do it, by parts. I'm just gonna do this here as quickly as I can, just for the sake of the video, but I do expect yours to be really well traced out and drawn and labeled and everything. So yeah, I'm just doing it fast for the sake of the video. So that's that one, and then 2 units back, 1 unit back, which is 2 of these little lines according to my scale. And then like this, and like this, and like that. So there we go. So that will be the cavalier, and then I still have to do the cabinet oblique. So do this for all your parts. Once again, do them by hand. Print the paper. So in this case, it's just an example. I think it will be useful as well if I'm gonna say that, this, I'm gonna make it here, like this is my 1 unit, or that line is, representing the 4.75 inches or whatever. That way we have a scale, so you guys can use that as a reference for whenever you are drawing. So you can make that on the side. So make all the drawings for all of these 9 parts, both isometric and oblique and cavalier and cabinet. So once again, it will take you maybe like 20 minutes to do this. It's not difficult, 30 minutes. But make sure that you guys are using a ruler. They're not I don't see any erasing marks. I see the nice color, labelings, and so on. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna be creating. So that's it on this video. Hopefully this helps you guys out. So I'll see you in class.